that Saul showed him once in his life. And that's how he attributed, and that's what he attributed to Saul. In death, he was not saying to Saul, you wicked man that was trying to kill the young man who God has anointed as king, you that you are sending armies after me. He didn't speak about that. He dared to think about the good times that he and Saul had. And he says, oh, Saul and Jonathan, they were beloved and they were pleasant in their lives. So clearly, David could go back and pick, right? Yes, not just another man, a man that had sought his life. But he didn't look to pen that down as a, what they call that thing now? What's that thing they put in people's obituaries? I've forgotten what those things they put in their obituaries. He did not think to write it down. He remembered the good things. I said, there was a time when I used to sit on this man's table as part of those in his inner carcass, where he loved me. He would carry me everywhere he was going. He gives me access to learn military tactics alongside with him and other people. He gave me access to even marry his daughter one time, even though they did me yao. But whatever it is, he remembered the goodness. And you see, this thing was not just for the purpose of writing. It was because in David's reflection, because remember that these writings of David was triggered at the point they told him Saul was dead. So that means the deepest memories David had of Saul was not the wickedness of Saul, was the goodness of Saul. This thing is a pointer to the heart of David. No wonder God could say that David is a man after my own heart. Do you see? So whenever I ask questions to God from God, I say, God, what made you like this person so much that made you say this person is a man after your own heart? That is it. The Bible says love keeps no record of what? Of wrong. 1 Corinthians 13. Love keeps no record of wrong. The moment a man's heart can come to a place where there's no record of wrong doing in their heart, God can look at that man and say, this man's heart is pure. It's not as if you don't want to remember. You know that they have done you evil things. But somewhere in your heart, you're like, this man doesn't know any better. If he knew any better, he won't be doing what he's doing. And I know there are some believers who be saying to me, hey, you are just saying this one. No? What about those are your staunch enemies? The Bible not say that if you do not wish your enemies evil, that you're heaping coals on their head. That means if you don't enter into their battle ring with them, what you're doing is you're heaping coals on their head. They hate you. They are scheming evil against you, but you never scheme evil against them, never hate them. The moment you respond with hatred over hatred, you're as guilty as the person who you are saying hates you. Yes. And that's how it is in this kingdom. So David understood this thing. He knew that, see, Saul wants to kill me. The moment I take it to heart, even me, I will be bitter. I'll be looking for how to kill him. So he quickly jumped on the side of the scriptures, which is love keeps no record of wrong. I would rather not keep any record that this man is trying to do anything to me, so that I do not eventually pattern myself as an enemy of the throne. What by enemy of the throne? I'm talking about enemy of the throne of God, because already he was the enemy of the throne of Saul. You don't want to be the enemy of the throne of Saul and become the enemy of the throne of God. You choose the side you want to be on. And as he chose the side of God, who fought his battle? Is it not God? But before God did, God was sitting and watching to see whether this man, David, would pick up the sword and kill this man because he knows the man is fighting his life. My dear people, the Bible says the battle is not yours, it's of the Lord's. The moment you take the battle that belongs to God and want to turn it into your battle, what happens is that 99% of the times you become bitter, you become angry, you become malicious, and then you're as guilty as the person who you're accusing. Every day of your life, wake up and say, Lord, do a work of love in my heart. Do a work of love in my heart. Do a work of love in my heart, that irrespective of what life throws at me, help me never become cold as touching the subject matter of love. Help me never become bitter as touching the subject. Literally, it's a responsibility that you must take upon yourself as a believer. Because guess what? In this thing called the school of the Spirit, God will not relent until he has made out of you what you must become so that you can sit on your throne. That's the truth.